heard about FFV through my dad. He actually drives up north in the oil fields, so he was like, you know, there's companies out there that treat their women like crap, and there's companies out there that treat them like women. I mean, they are women in a men's field, sort of. I mean, trucking is predominantly male. He knew the founder of FFE. He actually, his dad drove trucks, so he's grown up in the industry, and I just heard from him and I researched a little bit, and that's exactly what everything said. FFE treats their people like they're people and not just numbers. There's a lot of different forums and things out there where people talk about this company or that company. You can tell a lot about the school, how the people at the school treat you. But I went with what my dad said. Knowing that he's been out there, just having in-person people to talk to and talk to some of his friends, and they're like, yeah, why don't you, I mean, couldn't hurt to give it a try. Probably I didn't realize it was going to be as stressful as it is. I mean, you don't think driving is stressful when you're driving in your car. It's just more complex. There's a lot more to think about, a lot more to, you're not just thinking for you, you're thinking for everybody else out there. The first week is a lot of book work, a lot of prep. You get your permit, but then the second week you go into the hands-on. I mean, you get a little bit of backing and whatnot the first week. The second week is all in the truck. You have paperwork, you have a little bit of classroom time, you spend like 8-9 hours in a truck. And that helps a lot. The applied really makes everything that you learn in the book make sense. Other than that, after the school, I went the 6 weeks on the road with a trainer, and that's all applied. You actually do the paperwork, you drive, you deal with shippers, receivers, you deal with the other people on the road. Each week it's like they add something different. You start out with a trainer, you may or may not drive the first 1 or 2 days because the trainer's trying to get to know you, know your personality, because they try to match you up really well with a trainer. And they do a pretty good job with it, I think. The first week you may only drive 400 miles a day and get used to the truck, get used to, I mean, you're actually pulling a load, so it's different than when you're at school. You drive an empty trailer at school, they don't let you in Texas train with a full truck. You're learning how the truck responds differently to a loaded trailer, empty trailer, bobtail. I mean, because you're gonna deal with all three on the road. But over the 6 weeks, they do a test each week at the end of the week and just evaluate you, keeps you updated on how you're learning. Basically, as you go out with Sal, he's the upgrade tester. He tests everybody that comes through FFE. Really nice guy. But he works with you a little bit. He shows you the route, shows you what he's going to ask of you, and you come in, you turn all your paperwork in. You have questionnaires and just a little paper test that you have to do, and you go through an orientation, a new driver orientation class, and they give you your truck. There's so much that goes along with it other than just driving. People think it's just steering down the road, but you gotta shift and you gotta watch all these people, and eventually it all becomes like second nature. You don't have to think about it so much. But the job isn't hard in itself. It's everything that comes with the job. Basically, it's a lifestyle, I guess, that's hard. It's hard to adjust to. And that's what they really tell us. The job's not hard, but it's not easy. It's not just any monkey can sit behind a wheel, but not everybody can drive a truck. I got to go to a little apple farm in New York. I didn't even know New York had farms. But this little farm, it's family owned, family operated. They hire maybe 15 people from outside the family. They come in and they pick apples, whatever they do at apple farms. And they had 2 docks. And it's out in the middle of nowhere. And you go through this drive and it's dirt and muddy and apple trees everywhere. And of course it's like February, so they're not even in bloom yet. It's freezing cold. Once we got docked, because I was driving and getting out, and they were like, "Did you just drive that truck?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You're female," and I'm like, "So?" And I think that's the most interesting thing about the job. People don't really realize that women can do what they can do. I mean, there's plenty more women other than me out in the field. They're actually good drivers. They know the job, they do it well, and I think that's one thing that I really, really like about the job is letting other people know that, hey, somebody can do this. Doesn't matter if they're female, male, young, old. Yeah, I spent a lot of time out west in the mountains. Went through Nevada, Utah, spent some time in Salt Lake City, went up to Oregon. I've been through Arkansas, Alabama, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia. Went up north to Jersey, Pennsylvania. and even went up to Maine. I was a mile from the Canadian border. I've been 500 feet from the Mexico border. So it's really interesting. You get to go just about anywhere. Have city driving, I mean, not been to New York City or DC yet, but drove in Chicago. Somewhere close to 26,000 miles, 27,000 miles in my training. So if you figure 26,000 miles across 6 weeks is 4,000 miles a week. It's not really a lot, but when you think about all the stuff that you have to learn, all the stuff you have to do, that is a lot of miles in a short amount of time. Because it's like they're cramming a lifetime of experience into 6 weeks. The driver trainers are actually really great. I had an experienced driver. He's been driving longer than I've been alive. Having somebody that knows what they're doing, they've been in the field, they've seen it change, seen it grow, they've had to adjust to it. They're really personable. They care about you as a person, not just as a driver. So they want to know where you stand as far as what you've done in your life, what you intend to do, things like that. They're really knowledgeable in what they've done. They have to go through training and school just like we do in order to be a trainer. It's not just their experience that qualifies them, it's how they do at the school. If you're looking for adventure, you want to go out and see the country, I guess that would be the biggest draw for me. Is that, and you want a good paying paycheck, I mean a steady paycheck if you do your work too. You can see the country and get paid to do it. Meet a whole bunch of people. I mean, you don't have to interact with people all the time, but you get to meet new people. You're always going someplace different. If that's one thing you're looking for in your life, you just need something different, need a change, why not check it out? It can't hurt anything. Having done this job for 6 weeks, I don't think I could go back to another job. Just inside and enclosed. I mean, the scenery always changes. My best office in the world is behind the truck. It really is.